Hello there, this is Roberto Matthews with another gardening tip for you guys. It's been a while since I've uploaded a video about gardening, and I think I have a good one today. I am propagating my Coleus plants, and I wanted to show you how I do it so you can propagate similar plants. I also follow this same procedure when propagating basil. So what you'll need is a plastic grocery bag, which I know you have a few lying around somewhere, a small mason jar and the ring without the cover, a cup of water, I'm using distilled water here, and a sharpened pencil and scissors. So we're going to fill up the mason jar to the tippy top with the water. Then we're going to secure a portion of the plastic bag with the mason jar ring. Once that's secure, we're going to go ahead and cut away all the excess. Of course, you can be as neat or as messy as you want in this part. Okay, now that that's done, let's bring over the plant we're going to be taking cuttings from. Isn't she beautiful? So right where you see the side shoots coming out, that's new growth, and that's where we're going to cut. Right above that fork in the branch. I usually bring it down to almost around ground level, but for this tutorial, I'm only going to get a few cuttings. Okay, we're going to go ahead and do the same thing to this second plant, and I'll come back when it's all done. So we aren't going to need much of the cutting, only maybe about 4 small leaves, and then we're going to shorten each one of the cuttings. Of course, as the saying goes, waste not, want not. All this refuse will go into the compost tumbler. Like I said, we don't need much in order to get the cuttings going, so I'm going to trim these little guys even more so that they can be more efficient in setting roots. Think about it. Since they are relatively tiny compared to the mother plant, they each don't need a lot of leaf space to take in light. That's why we can fit more cuttings in a smaller space. So now that we have the cuttings we're going to use, I will get them to the same length. As you'll see later, they'll grow roots on whatever part of the branch is exposed to water, so no need to keep these too long. This is why I wait until I know how many cuttings I have before I poke holes in the plastic. 5 cuttings, 5 holes. And then I can make them nice and neat and evenly spaced. And here we go. Our setup is complete. Of course, if you don't have access to a mason jar or just don't want to purchase one, you can do this same trick with plastic cups and rubber bands. I would suggest clear ones so that you can see the roots system growing. Once my cuttings have grown roots, this is what I do. Instead of spending money on small pots and upcharging my customers, I just purchase these 16-ounce plastic cups. My customers seem to like them, and they take up much less space than the pot would. They are also pretty tall, which allows a lot of root growth before having to pot up. An added advantage is that you can get all types of colors to match the house decor. First, we make the drainage holes, but these will double as capillary holes since we water from below. Here's an extra tip. When I get my potting soil, the cheap kind, by the way, I unbag it and immediately seal it in 5-gallon container. As you can see, the container keeps the soil nice and moist for me. We're going to put just a little soil in the bottom in order to get the wicking action started. This will be what we compact pretty tightly, so having a dedicated masher allows me to get in this deeper cup. Then we loosely fill the cup to about the halfway mark. We're going to add some dry fertilizer here. This will ensure that our plant gets a boost right when it needs it most, and assures that my customers have a nice looking plant, even if they choose not to pot up right away. Okay, now we're going to top it off with some more soil and make it pretty. Okay, we're back, and as you can see, this is what happens after only about 3 or 4 days under grow lights. What's great about this system is that you can just tear away the plastic securing the cutting in order to not damage the roots. Next, all I do is measure the depth I need with my knuckles and make a hole in the soil. This is also why I like using these tall cups. Of course, make sure not to compact the soil too much. We'll be getting the air out by doing just one watering from above. After that, you won't have to water from above anymore. By the way, the water that's left in the mason jars is added to the basin the cups will be sitting in. And here's my repurposed AeroGarden harvest. I keep it for the phenomenal LED lights and the fact that it already has a built-in timer. I took some old wood and cut it down to size in order to hold everything. Thank you very much for your time and happy growing.